matters, how it lowers blood pressure differently, who may it benefit, side effects, and safety concerns will be discussed, and whether this drug could become the future of is the scary reality of US. Nearly half of US adults have hypertension. It causes no pain, no symptoms would appear, no warning sign, elevated blood pressures, kidney strain. Who could get benefit? Let's discuss that. What if I told you that FDA has just approved a completely new type of blood pressure medication, something doctors have been waiting for decades. Not for beta blockers, not for AC inhibitors, not ARB. This one works differently, and experts believe it could change how hypertension is treated in America forever. The drug is called Baxfendy, the first FDA approved aldosterone synthase inhibitor. Now that sounds complicated, but by the end of this video, you'll understand what Baxfendy does, how this approval matters, how it lowers blood pressure differently, who may it benefit, side effects, and safety concerns will be discussed, and whether this drug could become the future of hypertension or not. Here is the scary reality of US. Nearly half of US adults have hypertension. That's almost 120 million Americans, and millions still cannot control their blood pressure even while taking multiple medications. So, this approval matters. It's a very big deal. Let's break it all down in this video. Hi, my name is Mayank. I'm a registered pharmacist with RX Indian Pharmacist channel, your go-to guide to pharmacy knowledge. If you're first time watching this video, consider subscribing. Let's understand the hypertension crisis in America. High blood pressure is often called as the silent killer for a reason. Most people don't feel it. It causes no pain, no symptoms would appear, no warning signs. But slowly and silently, it damages the body. It attacks the arteries. It strains the heart. It damages the kidney. It increases stroke risk and it raises the chance of heart failure. According to CDC, hypertension contributes to hundreds of thousands of deaths in the US every year. And despite all the medications readily available, millions of patients still struggle with uncontrolled blood pressure. Why? Because hypertension is complicated. Some patients retain too much sodium, some have overreactive hormone system, others have resistance hypertension, meaning every three or more drugs aren't enough for them. That's exactly where the Baxfendy enters the picture. Let's understand what is Baxfendy. So, what exactly is Baxfendy? Baxfendy is the brand new FDA approved medication designed to lower blood pressure by targeting something called aldosterone synthase. Let me simplify that for you. Inside our body, our adrenal glands produce hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone tells our body, hold on to sodium, retain water, raise blood pressure. In normal amounts, that's useful for the body. But in many people with hypertension, the body produces too much aldosterone, and that becomes dangerous. Too much aldosterone in the body causes fluid retention, elevated blood pressures, heart stress, kidney strain. It causes cardiovascular risks. Most older drugs only block the aldosterone receptors, but Baxfendy does something newer. It attempts to stop aldosterone from being made in the first place. That's why scientists call this is a major pharmacology breakthrough. Let me explain you why this drug is different. Old drugs versus Baxfendy. Let's take it this way. To understand why doctors are excited, we need to compare Baxfendy with traditional blood pressure medications. For now being decades, hypertension treatment has relied on categories like ACE inhibitors, ARBs, that is aldosterone receptor blockers, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, diuretics. These medications absolutely save lives, but they also have limitations. Some patients taking them experiences persistent high blood pressure. They experience electrolyte imbalance in the body. They experience fatigue. They experience dizziness. Some of them could become resistant to hypertension. Now, here is where Baxfendy changes the conversation. Instead of targeting blood vessels directly, it targets hormone production itself. That means the drug acts earlier in the pathway. You could think of it as like old medications are trying to stop the flood after the water reaches the house. Baxfendy tries to shut off the water source upstream. That's huge conceptual shift, right? And researchers believe this could help patients whose blood pressure remains uncontrolled despite standard therapy, especially those with elevated aldosterone activity. How Baxfendy works. Hormone pathway. Let's go deeper scientifically. This is the part most news articles skip. Baxfendy inhibits the enzyme responsible for producing aldosterone. That enzyme is in the final step of aldosterone biosynthesis inside the adrenal cortex. By reducing aldosterone production, sodium retention decreases, water retention decreases, blood volume lowers, your blood pressure drops, and potentially heart and kidney stress may also reduce over the time. This mechanism is incredibly important because aldosterone has long been linked not only to hypertension but also to cardiac remodeling, fibrosis, kidney disease progression, vascular damage. That means Baxfendy may have some implications far beyond just blood pressure numbers. And that's exactly why cardiologists are paying close attention to this drug discovery. Let's talk about clinical trials results. Now let's talk about evidence because FDA approvals only happens after major clinical evaluation. In clinical trials, Baxfendy demonstrated meaningful reductions in the blood pressure compared to placebo. Researchers especially focused on patients with difficulty to control hypertension, and many patients showed impressive reductions in systolic blood pressure. That matters because even a small reduction can significantly lowers the risk of stroke, heart attack, heart failure, kidney disease. Some experts believe drug targeting aldosterone pathways may become increasingly important in resistance hypertension management. But remember, this does not mean Baxfendy cures hypertension, and it also does not mean patients should stop their current medications. This is about adding a powerful new option to the treatment toolbox. And in the medicine, new mechanisms are rare, very rare. Let's discuss its side effect and safety. Now, let's discuss the most important part, safety of this drug. Because every medication has their own risk. Since Baxfendy affects hormone and electrolyte imbalance, doctors will likely monitor patient carefully. Potential concerns may include elevated potential levels, dizziness, fatigue, kidney function changes, electrolyte imbalance. Patients with persisting kidney disease may require special monitoring, and people already taking medications that increases potassium could need extra caution. This is not start it yourself type medication. It is a prescribed only and should always be managed by a healthcare professional medicine. Also, important, long term real world safety data will continue to develop over time. That happens with newly approved medications. So, while approval is exciting, doctors will still be careful about outcomes in larger population. Who could get benefit? Let's discuss that. So, question is, who might benefit most from Baxfendy? Experts are especially interested in patients with persistent hypertension, high aldosterone activity, chronic cardiovascular risk, difficult to control blood pressures, multiple failed therapies. So, such patients would be of high attention to the researchers. This could become particularly valuable for patients taking three or four medications and still struggling with high blood pressures. And honestly, that's a massive population in the United States as of now because hypertension management remains one of the biggest challenges in the modern medicine, especially with obesity, stress, processed food, and sedentary lifestyle continuing to rise. But again, this drug is not a magic. Lifestyle changes still matters enormously. That means lower sodium intake, exercise daily, get a better sleep, pay attention to weight management in the body, should work upon reducing stress, limiting alcohol intake, quitting smoking. Medications work best when combined with healthy habits. Why this matters? Why this approval matters globally? This FDA approval isn't just another pharmaceutical headline. It represents innovation in cardiovascular medicines globally. For years, many scientists understood aldosterone's harmful role, but creating a selective and effective aldosterone synthase proved extremely difficult. Now that barrier has finally crossed, and pharmaceutical researchers worldwide are closely watching on this discovery because if this approach succeeds long term, it could open the door for entirely new generation of cardiovascular therapies, not just for hypertension, but potentially for heart failure and kidney disease too. This is why experts are calling Baxfendy one of the most important hypertension approvals in recent years. So, here is the big takeaway. Baxfendy is not just another blood pressure pill. It represents a completely new approach to hypertension treatment. Aldosterone has been a major hidden driver of cardiovascular diseases for decades, and now medicines has a new weapon targeting it directly. Will it replace current therapies? That's a question, but probably not immediately. But it could become a major part of future of hypertension management. Absolutely possible. And with nearly half of American adults living with high blood pressure, the impact could be enormous. So, if you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, RX Indian Pharmacist, your go to guide to pharmacy knowledge. See you in another video like this. Until then, bye for now.